Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer from Brooklyn Brewery. This is Winter IPA, Slatter's Choice IPA. I don't think I've ever had this beer. So, what is this? This is tasting Juniper Jam Snowfall. I don't even know what that means. I understand the juniper. I'm not quite sure about the jam. Anyway, this is cold weather calls for blah, blah, blah. Simcoe Rye. Cool. Simcoe Rye. This is Best by March. When was this guy canned? Oh yeah, I think that makes sense. 254.3. So that's 254. That's like September. Oh, so this is 6 month Best Buy. So 6 month Best Buy. 6 month Best Buy. Right, 6 month Best Buy. So this is about a month old, something like that. I think. Then yeah, 254.3. That puts you in 250, 238. So like September 14th. September 14th. I don't know. If it is September 14th, that puts this beer like 3 months old. But you're supposed to enjoy this beer for another 4+ months. No, 3+ months from December. 1, 2, 3. 3+ months. I don't know. Anyway, you tell me. We'll see how this beer is. 3 months is a long time away in my mind, at least for IPA. Yeah, they're right. Rye and crystal malt in here. Comes in a really beautiful, like almost like cranberry juice kind of color. Yeah, almost like a deep ruby. Yeah, deep ruby, deep amber, medium to deep amber color. Wonderful, like just like rich reddish color. Really nice. I like it's sort of even like prettier than I feel Celebration, which is a little bit darker than this. Reminds me a little bit like the Flip Side IPA from Sierra Nevada. Something like that. Okay. So, interesting. I get some of that classic kind of Sierra Nevada-ness to it. Full blind, I would have guessed it was a Sierra Nevada beer. It has that really nice kind of crystallized, sugary, butterscotch kind of sweetness to it. But on top of an IPA, so it has a little bit of like pininess, a little bit of grapefruit. That wonderful kind of just like caramelized pine needles. I mean, I don't think that's a thing, but it just has a combination of if you could just, caramelize pine needles and cover it in sugar and bake them, sort of that kind of like a combination. Yeah. I get some sweetness in there as well, and also like spicing. Strangely enough, like I don't know. It seems like there's like nutmeg or something in here. Yeah, I don't know. They don't say anything about that, but hey. Cheers. I don't really get too much Simcoe either. It smells a little stinky too, like a little bit stale. So, not ideal. Wow, that is unbelievably bland. 7%. Does not taste like 7%. Clean IPA. Definitely not like Sierra Nevada. It really lacks bitterness at all. That is crazy. I feel the balance when you use a judicial amount of or there's some amount of crystal malt in here and then some rye. I think you want to back that up with some classic American IPA bitterness. You think about like beers like Founder's Red Rye and Hot Rod Rye from Bear Republic and all the Sierra Nevada beers that I've mentioned. Up front, it's a little bit stale, honestly. So the fact that they think this can go for another 3+ months is crazy to me. A little bit papery. And then just slightly devoid of hop flavor. Like, this is definitely not, like, completely past its peak. Or, yes, it's for sure past its peak. But it's not completely undrinkable. But then it's also the point where it's like, why do you even bother with IPA? It's, I hate, sometimes, like, it's hard to make these analogies. Yeah, it's like ordering fries without the burger or something, but sometimes maybe you're just in the mood for fries. I don't know. It's just like, why even bother? It's like, if you're going to go out of your way to, enjoy something and it's so integral to the product itself, which is the hop flavor, the aromatics, the bitterness. Sure, that's just part of recipe development. The bitterness is not there, so that's their fault. But to taste something like this, what's the point? And what's the point in having this beer all the way in March? I mean, I think it has to be partially recipe development. It didn't smell that bad to me. But yeah, this is so bland. It tastes like nothing. I would have an impossible way to try to guess what this was, a full blind. I would guess maybe some kind of pale ale. I would never guess this 7%. It's so watery for 7%. It honestly tastes like it's 5.5, 6%, maybe 5.5. Has a little bit of bitterness, medium bitterness to it, a little bit soily, a little bit of that kind of rice spiciness, a little bit of kind of like eucalyptus thing going on, a little bit of peppery thing going on. But that introduction, it tastes like nothing. Like, it's something about these macro-ish kind of beers, as in the sense of like, I talk about like when the big brands try to do it, like Blue Point and Sam Adams and Brooklyn Brewery sometimes. You try craft, like a full craft version, and it just tastes wildly different. Great analogy would be what Treehouse did. Treehouse did a beer video. Nate was talking about comparing Sam Adams Boston Lager to their Vienna Lager, or Negro Modelo versus their Munich Dunkel, and they're vastly different because they're a craft brewery and they're using full on ingredients. The colors are going to be different. The head color, like when you really push for recipe development to really make something artisanal and really be inspired by traditional styles, you're going to get a more full flavored kind of experience. This tastes like, yes, something like Brooklyn Brewery or Sam Adams produced it. It completely lacked IPA character. Most of the palate has a little bit of bitterness to it, a little bit of malt character to it. But it's I don't know if it's age, recipe development, who knows what's, but it's I don't know. It's like going to TGI Fridays versus like a real restaurant, right? Like, it's just like, you're not going to get the same experience, like, it's just, you just know it's a mass market brand where it's like not going to be as thought about and well crafted. And, you're just getting into eating mass produced food that's frozen and packaged, blah, blah, blah. And it hits a spot sometimes. And this is a great beer for like a ball game. You don't really think about it because, it's not going to be that bitter. Sort of reminds you of an IPA. It's got a little bit of malt to it, whatever. Cold, ice cold too. So imagine you're outside, you don't really care about it. 7%, boom, boom, you get there. But if I'm sitting here reviewing it, it tastes a lot like nothing. 78, sure. I mean, I can't promise you. It's not past all the way to where it's like, okay, this is completely oxidized, blah blah. Like, how could you bother with this like 3.5 months away? But it's definitely past its peak. And if this is exactly what it tastes like, then it deserves a way lower rating. But I'm going to go with the 78. This is very boring. Until next time.